What's good, YouTube? I got y'all with another video, man. We got Abe Honcho with the channel. We got Team Laughs after battering pedophile to death. I appreciate y'all watching the video. Make sure y'all subscribe. Make sure y'all turn the notifications on. Make sure y'all share the video. Jesus Christ is the way, the truth, and the life. And let's get to the video, y'all. Best content, best quality. Let's get to it. Let's see what this pedophile do. I mean, he killed him, but let's see what he actually did though, behind the scenes.
It's the morning of August 20th, 2024, and at HMP Fossway, the world's most
That's a PDF right there.
high-tech prison located in Leicester, England, inmate 21-year-old
This is in England? Bro, the one in the USA prisons, bro, they look like shit.
Thierry Robinson has just exited his cell after being let out for the day. He's captured here on CCTV with a huge grin on his face, heading over to his neighbour, 18-year-old Hysterically Smith. After
18?
waiting for him momentarily, the pair walk down the block and head over to the other side to a cell belonging to convicted paedophile Mahir Mohammed. When they re-emerge, there's no sign of Mahir. Now, one might take a look at
So the dude right here, that's a pedophile?
this and think there's nothing wrong. However, ladies and gentlemen, something serious just went down in Mahir's cell. And if you hadn't guessed it by now, Thierry Robinson and Hysterically Smith had just murdered a paedophile. If you're wondering why HMP Fossway looks more like a hotel than a prison, well, that's because it's classified as Cat C. Prisons in the United Kingdom are ranked in categories, A being the most secure, home to some of the country's most dangerous people, all the way through to category D, which is essentially a big home that prisoners have to live in, instead of going to their actual residence. In a Cat D prison, some of the inmates are allowed to leave to go to work or study, and then return, if they prove that they can do that over.
Bro, the USA's not getting this, bro. If you studying or do something like that in the USA prison, you staying in that bitch, bro. You might go to a different room inside of the prison, but bro, you're not leaving outside of that prison, bro. Not even one step, bro.
A period. They're even allowed to spend multiple days out of the prison and stay overnight at an approved address, say with a girlfriend, for example. HMP Fossway isn't quite that. Again, it's a Cat C resettlement prison. In other words, it's a highly secured facility that's designed to prepare inmates for reintegration into society without leaving. It offers certain amenities such as access to a gym facility, five-a-side football pitches, a music studio, computers within the cell, and even offers educational workshops in various sectors. So yeah, that's why some of you may think it looks like a hotel. I mean, to be fair, you wouldn't be by yourself in thinking that way, because when it first opened back in 2023, the prison made headlines for exactly that. Online critics compared it to a luxury hotel. They said, at the bare minimum, it was better than student accommodation. Over the past couple of years, HMP Fossway has gone viral for both positive and negative reasons. On the one hand, you had YouTuber Mr. Who's the Boss dub it the world's highest tech prison, while on the other hand, you had inmates within the prison filming TikTok videos complaining that sex offenders were being put on certain wings where they'd be able to see women and children who were visiting the facility.
This is HMP Fossway.
Bro, this should look like a school with fences around it.
E block at the minute, and we're looking over to F block and the car park. Now, the jail wants to put the nonsense on E and F wing, so when people's visitors and
or hotel with, what's it called? Fences.
Children come to visit people, they can see the car park and they'll be stood at the windows doing nasty things to the people's visitors. We want to protest about this. And the visits go straight in where you can see now. It's not good because, like I say, this E and F block look over the car park, and we don't want them our kids. It's not fair. They should not get this block and where they can see public human people coming in. It's an outrage, and it needs a petition that it wants moving down to. They can have A and B block. And people's families that come into the jail, we need to get them to petition as well and protest against them because they can't be on.
But y'all hear that? The other voice behind him, he must be like telling him what to say or reading a script to him.
The outside fence looking at all the kids and the people coming in, it's not fair. And we're on E block, HMP Fossway, Nonce Palace. It's the pedo palace of England, and they want it to make it so they can see us kids from the fence. It's not happening. please watch this video and please protest against it, put a petition against it. These nonsense cannot come to the fence.
One of the sex offenders...
Protect every children, every kid, and every woman from pedophilia or everything like that. Even the men too. Even though the men have the most pedophiles, there's some men that get, what's it called? Sexually assaulted by another woman or something else. And the men just go silent. And the woman, whenever they get sexually assaulted or raped or whatever it's called, it's just loud and everything. That should be the same thing for men too. Especially for children too.
Who was mixed in with the inmate.
The pedophile's name is Mahir Mohammed Abdul Rahman. How you say it?
Was 31-year-old Mahir Mohammed.
He's 30. What? He's 31?
Image bizarrely hasn't been published, and there's only a small section in the news as to why he even ended up in HMP Fossway to begin with. Mr. Mohammed had been jailed for an online conversation with a girl whom he thought was in her early teens. The girl was a decoy set up to snare pedophiles. The vigilante group behind the snare reported him to the police.
What if it was from Gideon or Skeeter Jean? That would have been crazy.
He ended up being jailed at HMP Fossway. For that conviction, he was handed a 35-week prison sentence and was due to be...
35-week prison sentence? What is that? Hold on, how long is 35 weeks in days? Or months? How many months are in 35 weeks? 8 months? That's too lenient, bro.
Released on August 21st, 2024. So yeah, Mahir had been caught by an online sting group and had landed himself in jail. We don't know what his time...
So, this pedo went to jail for the first day and he already died? I mean, I don't wish death on anybody, but bro, I don't wish death on pedophiles, even though they do that to children, because God says to love everybody and everything like that. I mean, this might sound crazy, but I forgive him what he did, even though my family wasn't in that situation, or little kids or my little cousins or anything like that wasn't in that situation, and I forgive him for that.
Time was like in the jail for the most part, but according to a
if God can forgive everybody, why can't you? Just saying.
report, his life had been made a literal
You gotta soften your heart, chat.
living hell in the few weeks leading up to his release. This would have been around the time he crossed paths with his killers, Ashiri and Thierry. Those two, by the way, are infamous in their own right. Yes, this story
Bro, this dude on the right looks happy to be there. I ain't gonna lie, bro.
takes a whole other turn when we come to find out that one of them is a relatively famous and successful UK drill rapper, and the other made national headlines for being extremely brazen with a firearm. Thierry, known by his alias Trills, has been making music for some years. His videos have racked up millions of views. However, he wasn't just a rapper, he was also a drug dealer, and that's how he ended up in HMP Fossway for 5.5 years. It was the circumstances surrounding...
Bro, this rapper got 5 years for selling drugs and everything like that, and this pedophile only got 35 weeks or 8 months of jail or prison. What type of social justice system is this, bro?
Ashiri's arrest back in late 2023 that made news outlets from across the country pick up on his story. He had videoed himself dancing with a loaded
And by the way, this is in the UK.
gun. For that, he was jailed for 3.5 years in April of 2024. HMP Fossway was where he was going to call home while serving his sentence.
That's the song? What am I looking at? Our armed officers about to arrest a teenage gunman. Oh shit. We found the same gun under a mattress when we searched Smith's house.
Self-loading with the 90.
The verbal taunt. Once Mahir had crossed paths with the pair, they subjected him to weeks of verbal taunts and physical attacks due to the nature of his offending. On August 19th, 2024, just 2 days before he was due to be released, Hysterically had visited Mahir's cell on 12 different occasions.
So he had 2 days before release and he decided to kill the pedophile? I mean, I would say let him free either way, because pedophilia is probably one of the most devastating things you could do to somebody or look at somebody like that. Even though, I mean, if you look at somebody with pedophilia, I mean, I don't know how to word this, but if you see somebody that you attracted to, and then they catch you while you're looking at them, they probably think you're a pedophile. I mean, bro, I mean, I don't know how to word this, bro. Or imagine you was 24 or just regular ages, like from 18 or over. You saw a fine girl and you was looking at her for a cool 5 seconds, and then she turns back and then she looks at you with like disgust, and she probably think like you're a pedophile or something like that, and thinking like, oh, he just want me for my body or something like that, and he's a weirdo. I mean, like, bro, I mean, you're not a pedophile if you're checking a girl out, not objectively, but just looking at them appearance wise, like in the face. That's different. But you know what I'm trying to say though. I can't even speak right now.
While there, he verbally insulted him and physically assaulted him. Towards the end of the day, Mahir threw a kettle filled with boiling water through the gap of his cell 12 different occasions. While there, he verbally insulted him and physically assaulted him. Towards the end of the day, Mahir threw a kettle filled with boiling water through the gap of his cell door, which hit both.
Bro, he threw boiling water at the pedophile?
While there, he verbally insulted him and physically assaulted him. Towards the end of the day, Mahir threw a kettle filled with boiling water through the gap of his cell door. Towards the end of the day, Mahir threw a kettle filled with boiling water through the
the pedophile threw the boiling water to the dude who killed him.
Gap of his cell door, which hit both Hysterically and Thierry. It was a revenge attack. This had been the first time he retaliated. Given the fact he was due to be released on the 21st, he probably thought he'd have been alright for a day. However, according to a report, as the hours went on, he asked to be moved to a different part of the prison as he feared for his life. Reality set in. That move wasn't granted, and well, you know what went down the following morning. At around 7:45 AM on August 20th, 2024, Mahir Mohammed had been found unresponsive in his cell by a female prison officer. He had been repeatedly punched, kicked, and stamped over the course of around 37 seconds. Thierry and Hysterically couldn't appear weak after the kettle attack. It marked Mahir for death. His prediction was correct. He would officially be pronounced dead by paramedics around an hour after the attack. His eventual cause of death was a bleed to the brain. The investigation was swift, the pair were banged to right.
Then he was probably like this, like that to his brain, bro. That's pure that's like he basically got CTE literally like in a span of 15 seconds, and then he died from a brain bleeding, whatever it's called.
And eventually they were charged with murder. They surprisingly denied the charges that were placed against them and went on trial in the spring of 2025. In the end, Hysterically was found guilty of murder and was sentenced to life imprisonment with the minimum term of 17.5 years, whilst Thierry Robinson was found not guilty of murder but was found guilty of manslaughter and received an 11-year prison sentence.
Damn.
So, some of you may be sitting there asking yourself, how did a convicted paedophile end up on the same wing as normal inmates? And well, simply put, HMP Fossway, like many other prisons in the United Kingdom, are throwing all inmates in together because we have a prison overcrowding crisis. No, like literally within 19 months of HMP Fossway being built, it was 98% full. Both the Conservative and Labour governments have tried to get a grip of the situation, but nothing's really worked. Yes, more prisons are being built, but that takes years, and with a prison population on the rise, it means they just can't keep up. They've got other measures in place as well, like releasing some inmates early. That includes violent sex offenders, by the way, but to no surprise, some people just can't be fixed, and they end up back in jail a short while later. We've all seen the headlines recently. This further adds to the problem. Regarding
Man freed from UK prison allegedly assaulted woman on same day.
sex offenders, Justice Secretary Shabana Mahmood announced that the government plans to introduce
Shabana Mahmood considers chemical castration for serious sex offenders.
Chemical castration in 20 prisons across England and Wales to help potentially alleviate this problem. According to reports, inmates within these 20 prisons will be asked first to volunteer. It will be a pathway to release. If all goes well and successful, they then plan to roll it out as a mandatory sentence to again help reduce the prison population. So, how does the British government take control of this situation then? If you have any suggestions, I'd like to know what you guys problem or for us going problem.
Well, that's the end of the video, y'all.
You might not realize that you could qualify for disability benefit.
It's the morning of.
Hey man, this was a crazy video. Shout out to the people that got revenge for the victim of the child and everything like that. And we need more justice for the USA, UK, everything like that. Every country needs to be needs to have social justice for pedophilia and predators, and they need to be charged for the same way and harshly, even though they're human too. And all we can do is try to forgive them, even though it's hard to do that because our hearts are so hard and harsh and everything like that. I mean, this might sound crazy, but I forgive them because Jesus said oh my gosh. If Jesus can forgive, why can't you? That's why I forgive like so easily. But I mean, I forgive, but if it's like a seriously harshly manner that something happened to me like hella bad, like hella bad, it's gonna take a while for me to forgive. I mean, I'ma still forgive at the end of the day, but there's some moments there that you don't wanna forget or forgive anybody else, but you gotta forgive them. But hey, I appreciate y'all watching the video. Make sure y'all subscribe, make sure y'all turn the noise on, make sure y'all share the video. Jesus Christ is the way and the truth and the life. And I'm gonna see y'all next video. Love y'all.